Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone in this room. Your Honorable Sheikh Dr. Walid Hadi, Chairman of Roundtable 2019, Your Honorable Sheikh Dr. Nizam Muhammad Salih Yakubi, Scholars Representative of the Roundtable discussion, Your Honorable Datuk Rosman Muhammad, Acting Managing Director of Bank Rakyat, Board members of Bank Rakyat, SHARIAH Committee members, honorable scholars, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. Can I have a hands up from the members of the press? Thank you. Alhamdulillah, praise to Allah, the beneficent and the merciful. We are grateful to Allah for His blessings, and we are able to gather today for this very special occasion at the launch of Bank Rakyat's International Shariah Scholars Roundtable 2019. This is an event I look forward to, as it is a highly interactive and constructive thought leadership forum in an area of knowledge excellence that is very dear to my heart. On behalf of Bank Rakyat's Board of Directors and Management Committee, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome and thank all of you for being here. To our international guests from across the world, ahlan wa sahlan. Selamat datang and a warm welcome to warm Malaysia. Even the climate is warm. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, Bank Rakyat is a teenager in Islamic finance. It has been 16 years since Bank Rakyat being the first development financial institution and the first cooperative bank to poke its fingers into the pie of Islamic finance. As Bank Rakyat transit into adulthood, we want to reinvent. And we want to reinvent in Islamic finance in 3 steps. Step number 1, we are looking at offering Islamic finance and beyond. And this means we are looking towards value-based, and this value-based is focused towards us meeting United Nations sustainability goals, and that would include us in support of economic and social development towards eradication of poverty, eradication of economic inequality, climate crisis, education, and the whole 17 SDGs that we have collaborated with United Nations. The second step is for Bank Rakyat to establish an identity. Bank Rakyat, in its BR25, in its 5-year plan, has consciously established an identity as the sustainable bank. And definition of the sustainable bank would include every single strategy in the bank to have an overlay of sustainability, defined based on 3 Ps: people, planet, and progress, and it's in that order. The third step is integrating these Islamic values and sustainability values into Islamic finance itself. And that would be in tandem with the vision of Bank Rakyat, serving the community, the nation, and the planet. That is the vision of Bank Rakyat. The mission, as we integrate all these narratives, is to be a globally recognized catalyst for national development through a range of financial services, rooted in Islamic values, community, and sustainability. Embracing all these narratives, Bank Rakyat would be keen to offer sustainable finance. And we would want to craft this sustainable finance into a sustainable finance vision. So having crafted this sustainable finance vision into our BR25, our 5-year master plan, we would want to also integrate contemporary world problems And it is really apt for us today to organize this International Sharia Scholars Roundtable 2019. So what is International Sharia Scholars Roundtable 2019? The International Sharia Scholars Roundtable 2019, which entered its third edition, is a program organized by Bank Rakyat with its strategic partner, International Sharia Research Academy for Islamic Finance, ISRA, that gathers respective local and international scholars in Islamic finance. Inaugurated in 2015 as a thought leadership platform for international discussion on Islamic finance issues, the biennial roundtable has been effective in creating a forum for distinguished Sharia scholars, academicians, regulators, and Islamic finance practitioners in various fields, including banking and capital market, to explore solutions to the issues and challenges which impact the Islamic finance landscape. Bank Rakyat had previously organized the International Sharia Scholars Roundtable in 2015 and 2017. You actually saw in the launch, there was 3 books. One is for 2015 and one was for 2017, and the third is the Arabic version. The 4 objectives of this International Sharia Scholars Roundtable are, number 1, to profile and enhance awareness on the development of Islamic finance through discourse and discussions on topical and global contemporary issues faced by the industry. Number 2, to have series of in-depth roundtable discussion on the contemporary issues to be the journey to progress Islamic finance into sustainable finance. Number 3, to issue and publish international Sharia standards and resolutions as references to the scholars, practitioners, and interested parties. And number 4, to bring harmonization between Sharia views and the implementations globally. What is Bank Rakyat's role in this International Scholars Roundtable? Bank Rakyat's role in organizing the Sharia Roundtable once in 2 years by inviting the international and local scholars from all over the world is to discuss on contemporary world problems and issues in Islamic finance. As a leader in this space, Bank Rakyat will then issue the resolutions derived from the roundtable discussions and distribute the book to scholars, universities, Islamic financial institutions, policymakers, and all interested parties. What are the goals of Bank Rakyat in organizing this roundtable meeting? We have 3 goals. Number 1, the international forum is aligned with the bank's aspiration to be a leader in Islamic thought leadership, especially on issues of broad significance to the global development of the Islamic finance industry. Number 2, by organizing such a forum, Bank Rakyat is also able to provide strategic direction on the Islamic space for the industry and the public. And number 3, this international forum also provides further impetus for Bank Rakyat to be a leader that is able to deepen the body of knowledge and cross-border application of Islamic finance. Brothers and sisters, how many books have we been distributing? And how do they benefit the industry and the public? Almost 1,000 of the resolution book based on the discussions during the first edition of the roundtable in 2015, which aimed at standardizing and harmonizing the Islamic banking practices, have been distributed to the Islamic banks, universities, researchers, regulators, and scholars and practitioners across the globe. Internationally, we are proud to claim that the books is referred by the Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Finance Institutions, or AOFI, based in Bahrain, as a guideline in issuing Waqaf resolutions, as well as the Department of Waqaf, Zakat and Haji, or Jauhar, in Malaysia, as a reference for a comprehensive overview. As a leader in thought leadership of Islamic finance, Bank Rakyat is committed to do the same this year by launching the resolution book, based on the discussion during the second roundtable in 2017, which focused on issues related to Waqf and the role of Islamic institutions in bettering socio-economic status for all communities worldwide. So based on a case analysis on Waqf, if I can share a problem statement that we are facing in Malaysia. The current statistics show that Malaysia has approximately 13,400 hectares which are left idle, unproductive, and require funds for the restoration process. Underdeveloped Waqf property in Malaysia becomes a burden to future generations as significant portions of land are untouchables since they are designated as Waqf. Most of the Waqf founder stipulated a condition that the Waqf land is to build a mosque or cemetery or surau. Therefore, further development to widen the scope of Waqf benefit is restricted. To the majority of Muslim jurists, it is not permissible to change the condition of Waqf income and assets stipulated by the endowers based on the famous maxim on Waqf condition. Quote unquote, the condition of the Waqf founder is like a tax of lawgiver in understanding the connotation, and it is an obligation to act. So with this problem statement, one of the topic that is being discussed in the Sharia International Roundtable today is on the changes in Waqf condition. Is it possible? Is it not possible? Should we actually live in a situation of 13,400 hectares of idle land in this country, or should we move forward towards making it a lot more productive? Who will be involved in this year's roundtable session? And you actually met them and you saw them, and they are all in this room. More than 20 Sharia scholars and Islamic banking practitioners will participate and have participated this morning in the program, which involved not only local scholars but also from other countries such as United Arab Emirates, UAE, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Syria, Bahrain, and Jordan. What does Bank Rakyat hope to achieve from organizing this International Sharia Roundtable 2019? As part of our BR25, which is our 5-year plan, Bank Rakyat leadership in sustainability finance is demonstrated in this 2-day discussion of the International Scholars Roundtable 2019. It will address the topical issues related to the impact of sustainability towards Islamic finance globally and thoroughly. At the same time, the bank also hopes to champion the sustainability finance space by uplifting the industry and also enhancing the socio-economic development of the country. In closing, the challenge to the banking industry today, in particular Bank Rakyat, is to rethink our roles and vision in societies they serve and other solutions to governments, private sector, and non-government organization or the NGOs, so that Bank Rakyat can become a significant catalyst for development in society. As a development financial institution, that is the mandate that is given to Bank Rakyat. We also urge the roundtable to develop a framework of how Islamic finance integrating with sustainable finance, how these Islamic finance institutions can set the benchmark for good governance, which can then be emulated by any institutions. A framework that can address contemporary breakdowns in governance as it is in any case studies. Brothers and sisters, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, our strongest takeaway from my statement here is an action call. It's an action call on Islamic financial institution to redefine their role in enhancing socio-economic status and socio-economic development to the society globally as well as domestically. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dato'. Members of the media, you may now pose your questions.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Rina from Sinaharian. Referring to the number of 1,000 copies distributed last year, is that for a collective of first and second edition? And number two, is this the first year Rakyat collaborate for the iSHAR, or can you elaborate more on that? Thank you.
You're from which media?
Sinahariah.
Oh, Sinar Harian. So the first question is, the 1,000 copies is for?
2 edition. 2 ke 1?
Ustaz Zamri, 2 or 1?
2 kan?
Where's
1.
Oh, for 1 edition? Yes. And that would be?
500 each edition.
Can you go to the mic and give the detail?
Yes, 500 for each. So we have 1,500 for 3 books.
Okay. Dia ada 3 buku, satu 2015, satu 2017 dan satu tu Arabic yang translation. Each is 500.
So the second year is whether this is the first year we are collaborating with iSHAR, and what is the plan going forward? Prof Akram Ladin, diorang nak tangkap kita ni. Mana Prof? Prof Akram Ladin? We have been collaborating many thought leadership with iSHAR, but not on a formal basis. This year, we are collaborating with iSHAR on this roundtable together with the International Sharia Scholars Forum, the 14th International Sharia Scholars Forum, which will be in Pullman, KLCC for 2 days, starting from Thursday and Friday. That would cover about 250 participants, of which 30% will be international participants. The collaboration with iSHAR is to make sure that while the scholars are in this roundtable, we are able to optimize, as we mentioned earlier, for the scholars to also impart with some of the resolutions and findings, as well as assist the practitioners towards coming up with a common ground. Going forward, whether we will be working with iSHAR and for how long? I think the short answer is yes. Are you from iSHAR? Thank you. Next question, please. Question for Sheikh Nizam Yaakubi.
Very good. They don't have questions.
No, they are thinking. Tanya dengan Sheikh Nizam ni. He came all the way. Far, far away.
Okey, terima kasih Datuk atas pencerahan. Saya Solah daripada TV3 nak tanya, ada tak lepas ni plan nak collaborate dengan lain-lain?
Dengan lain-lain institution.
What is
The question is on me. The question is, as we progress forward, is there going to be further collaboration between Bank Rakyat and other institutions? The short answer is yes. If you actually look into our 5-year master plan, the BR25, we have 5 verticals. One of the vertical is focusing on collaboration and partnership. From standpoint of Sharia, we are looking at a Sharia blueprint, Sharia leadership blueprint. In that Sharia leadership blueprint, quite an amount of the initiative is a leadership through collaboration and a leadership through partnership. This collaboration and partnership is not just in Malaysia, but it is also on an international basis. What is prominent in our collaboration and partnership is collaboration and partnership with the universities. We as we aspire to introduce sustainability finance vision, we want to do quite an amount of applied research, and that applied research we need to work very closely on a collaborative basis with universities, and that universities need not have to be local universities but also international universities. Does that answer your question?
Sorry again about the books. Last question. Are you planning to sell the books, or is just being distributed to the universities and the Islamic institutions only?
We are a very generous bank, and we want to be leader in sustainability finance. We have a vision on it. But to exactly answer your question, I'll get Ustaz Zamri to answer her in Arabic.
سنوزع مجانا. We will distribute FOC.
So a clap to Bank Rakyat for having a very, it's actually a genuine effort in making sure that we not just share, we make sure that what is being resolved and recommended is also scalable. Do you want to add anything at all for the press?
Maybe about the distribution of the book gratis. Maybe it is also advisable to have an edition which will be sold for, I mean, the cost price or something like that, because many people complain that books which are distributed, they don't get hold of it through bookstores and these things. So also, of course, today you can make PDF copies of it available through the internet and other means, electronic means. So because the request for such research and such fatwa and such book is so tremendous that a single bank is very difficult for them to cover all over the world, everywhere, every place, every university, every college, every Sharia, you know, fatwa board and etc. So it is advisable to make also some copies available and in a new edition for to be sold at a reasonable price, and also to make it electronically available.
Thank you, Shanizam. It's a brilliant idea. We will adopt that.
We now have room for just one more question. No more questions? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of today's ceremony. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all attendees who have made this year's iSHAR a success and hope we shall meet again in years to come. We now invite guests and members of the media for brunch that is already served in Garden Ballroom at level 1, while the scholars may resume the roundtable discussion. On behalf of Bank Rakyat, we wish you a pleasant day and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.